Hey, starting this off today with a little saxophone and just again checking to make sure that we are going live with sound because that is always a concern. Want to make sure that we're well prepared, and I think that that's one of the themes today is wanting to make sure that we're well prepared for the day, and it seems like we are well prepared. So um, the music's playing is actually from this project that I had been part of, and just like a recording space, and it was really sort of a moment in time. And this really wonderful guy, Adam, he played saxophone, and we just recorded, and I just got this new device, so I'm gonna bring it down a little bit because we want to focus our intentions and come well. I was meditating a little bit on what to say today because there are a lot of things that I was reading some things that were sort of upsetting in the news, and we don't want to I don't want to focus on current topics, but I do want to say that there's a lot of things that are out of our control. There are a lot of things that we have a hard time maybe processing, and wonder, why is there so much pain in the world? Why is there so much injustice? And one of the things that I think we can get caught up in is the why. And when you're asking yourself, why did this happen? Or why am I having a hard time with this? I don't think the question we're really trying to get the answer to is why. It's more, why me? Because like the reason why, when it happens to somebody else, is that's just the way the world is. When it happens to yourself, you're just like, why is this happening to me? What have I done to deserve this? And it's not about what happens, or you know what I mean. It's being mindful about what happens, and not letting those outside forces contribute to your internal conflict. It's really how we choose to approach a situation, as opposed to how we to the things that occur. Now, for instance, we sometimes will have something that happens directly to us. Okay, let's say, and say we trip and we fall and we skin our knee. Now, how can this benefit us? This is clearly a pain in the ass, and now I have to heal. But the healing process is an opportunity that has residual effects that can possibly aid us in a way we don't really see. So we're only judging the situation based upon what we can see in that moment. And then in hindsight, other things happen, after your opinion of what's happened, the accident that's occurred, the stumble and fall, you skin your knee, but as a result, you had to look for a Band-Aid. So when you found that Band-Aid, you were able to discover that you had lost this one item in your medicine cabinet. And that discovery ended up leading to remembering how much you love to do this one thing. And because you skin your knee, you might not be going outside riding your bike, but instead you chose an alternative activity that gave you a lot of joy, in where you may not have, discovered that other thing. It's a matter of perspective on how things, when they occur, choosing to see it as a bad thing or choosing to see it as a good thing, or choosing to see it as neither good nor bad, but just the occurrence that'll take you to the next occurrence. And certain things will be beneficial and certain things will be a hindrance. To talk to more about current events, without stating things specifically, there's a lot of injustice that's happening right now in our country. There's a lot of pain and healing that needs to take place, but we don't have control over these things that are happening outside of what we choose to do. What we can choose to do is to not ignore the things that are going on, but also not internalize them as a constant reminder of how things are how things are unequal and unfair. Um, because it's very easy for me to get caught up in that stuff. It's very easy for me to get angry, but right now there's a lot of good things that are happening in my life. I'm not Do I feel guilty because there's good things going on in my life, or there's things that are negative that I need to deal with? Does that mean I should still feel bad? I don't think so. Excuse me. I don't think that something bad happening should equate to me feeling bad about something just because a bad occurrence happens, or taking offense that somebody else is not in a bad mood because something bad has happened. I'm in a bad mood, so you should be in a bad mood too. It's about judging your opinion and freeing yourself of the guilt of, you are not responsible for what somebody else did. The responsibility comes in what you do have the power over. We have the power over only things that we can control, and there are certain things that are out of our control. Now, the real trick is, what is it that is in our control? What is not? And I think that is the real question, is not why, but what is something, this thing that has, when you accept that this thing that is not in your control is out of your power, it's not like you're off the hook, but it's something that you could neither affect positively or negatively. You know, the impact that you can have is from your spectrum and saying, okay, well, this thing that occurred that's outside of myself that I have no control over, I have an opinion about it. And this opinion is how I am affecting the world. Now, if this opinion saying this is something that shouldn't have occurred, you can do one of a couple. Well, there's a number of choices you can make, but a possible choice that you could make is to inform others and saying, this is outrageous, this is unjust, this is not fair, and I am going to spread the word about this injustice. And I think your intention comes in where, and this also is going to be how it affects your mood. The intention behind what you're doing. Are you doing this to because you're angry and you want to punish someone and you want to blame somebody for something that's occurred? Even if somebody is responsible and somebody is to blame, are you trying to get back because you don't feel as though there is power? You feel powerless, really, to do anything that would affect. So I'm going to try to lash out in whatever way I can. And that's not a judgment of you or anybody or myself. That is a natural feeling, because you're angry, and every right to be angry about something that upsets you. But this is where it comes in, and where you choose to let it affect your day, or derail you from the things that are going on that you need to be paying attention to. It could, like, something like that has upset my whole day, and now my shit, man, everything's that I've been working for is ruined. That's what I'm thinking in my brain, but that's not true. All of these things that were in play are still in play. If I've stepped away from it, if I come back to it, things are still fine. They are the same state that I have left them in. If they need attention, that's something that maybe we need to pay attention to. But like, when the attention is on this thing that bothers us, and it's okay to say, well, you know what, I need to stop what I'm doing because this needs some of my attention. I need to inform myself to be aware, but I'm not going to, this situation is not going to take me and put me in a negative state. Because, like, when you're in a negative place, when you're feeling bad, you can't affect positive change. All it is instigating somebody. So if you're lashing out online or social media and saying, hey man, this is fucked up, you're to blame, these people, and not maybe, so you can't reach the people who are directly responsible, so you reach the group of people who are most like that, or support the person who is responsible, that they shouldn't be supporting this person because they're obviously wrong. And how dare you side with them? There's a lot of factors that go into, not, and I'm not going to say that people's opinions are right or wrong, but there are a lot of factors that go into making somebody's opinion. It's about projecting what what somebody else has going on in their life onto a situation that they have not been involved in. I do believe this country has a great tradition of protest and standing up for people who can't stand for themselves, and that comes from struggle. If people haven't struggled, they would not know how to fight oppression. They would not know how to fight uh, injustice, to take things to a level where it will really affect positive change. And it's frustrating because you feel like maybe we're not getting anywhere, maybe we're not moving forward. But the truth is that we're moving forward. uh it's just that we can only move ourselves forward. And we can inform the people who are in our circle. We can educate people to understand, to have a to caring. And when you talk about how people, how you what kind of things you do have power over, you can listen to people and hear their side of things and ask questions and see what it is that these people really feel, instead of deciding that they feel something. So if you're online and somebody's putting a question out there, or saying a statement that's really angry and it enrages you, asking a question that does not instigate the conversation, and having a dialogue if you wish to engage. And sometimes it's just best to not engage, because if that person's angry, you're not going to be able to change their mind. Or the only purpose is to lash out and try to make somebody else feel pain that you're feeling. And that pain is not gonna affect anything. If change is what you want, that's not gonna help the cause. If you're interested in violence is not gonna change anything. It's just going to give justification for another party's anger. So I think, in where, you're saying peace and giving peace a chance. Peace comes from within first, and practicing peace in your own life. And if you can practice peace in your own life, you can share that peace with others, and you'll be in the right frame of mind to have a dialogue with somebody who's ready to hear what you have to say. If somebody else is angry, you could try to calm them down and get your point across. But most time, they have to be in a place to hear what you have to say. So that goes back to communication, and learning to communicate effectively, and communicate, you know, with yourself, and really know, what is it? The question is, what is it that I'm angry about? What is it that I'm upset about? And what I'm upset about isn't necessarily this thing that's happening. This thing is happening is reminding me of something that I'm upset about in my life, and where I have emotion in my life, and the injustice that happened to me. And how am I dealing with that pain that's inside of me? So this other thing that's happening is saying, yes, this is not right because this happened to me. I identify with this situation and I think it's wrong, and it is. And it very well may be, but that's not what's addressing the pain inside of you. And when we can reduce the pain inside of us, we will cease to cause other people pain, and we can introduce love and understanding and caring into the world. And I think that, and at the end of this week, it's Friday. I appreciate you tuning in to Daily Thoughts. This is Dan Victor Does. I am Dan Victor, and we're tuning in at noon every day, at 12 noon every day. I'm going to try to do this every day, not just on weekdays, because it helps with my schedule, and it helps me as much as hopefully it helps you. My intention is to share the positive energy that I am currently experiencing with you all, and hopefully that translates into some peace and calm in your life. Anyhow, listen, if you haven't been told that you were loved, I love you. You are loved, and let's forgive ourselves. Let's take the load off. So with that, I will wish you a great rest of the day. Tune in tomorrow or Monday. We'll see what happens. But I'm making it a practice to check in at noon every day, so that we can maybe take a little lunch break with Dan. You guys have an excellent day, and be good to yourselves.